Hello, ActiSage here on the Sage channel, and we're back once again for more singular survival. And today our battle plan is as follows. We're going to carry on somewhat of what we were doing before. We're actually going to go ahead and remove that medical bay. As you can see, it's sitting here. Some people, I think, in the comments thought I had actually ground it down. No such unluck. What a terrible saying. No such dice. No such foul play at destroying myself. No. The medical bay is indeed still here. Of course, it's not piped in, but what we're going to do is remove this, but we're only going to do that once we actually go ahead and get our basic solar panel area built in. Because now our battle plan is to put these solar panels kind of coming out this way from all of these refineries. Now, also, another thing I was having trouble with in the previous episode was the fact that these assemblers were not all working together. It left me pretty dang confused. Well, it turns out something I apparently didn't know is that assemblers actually function, well, basically, they only do cooperative mode when they're actually physically touching one another. So, these two right here can work together, and these two right here can work together, but all four cannot work together, which is incredibly unfortunate. I'm thinking I might end up rejigging all of my assemblers. That way we can have maybe, I don't know how exactly we'd set them up so they could all work together. If we ended up doing anything, it would basically be us removing them from there and putting them elsewhere in a larger setup here up above. Anyway, let's go ahead. First and foremost, we're going to actually put down I think a splitter right here. Do we want to do that? No. Let's get our solar panel area set up, and then we'll figure out what we're doing with the actual flat area. We're going to be building a flat area up here. That way we can have a living section. So we're going to have our medical bay there and stuff, and then maybe go up one more floor, and then put our sort of control area in. So we'll be able to live on sort of two little floor areas. I don't think we need too much space. Also, recent updates to Space Engineers have meant that text now disappears when you look away from it, which is pretty dang awesome. And once it gets really far away, it'll go from just this silly little square to actually, there you go, you can see it's gone into this little tiny equal sign, so it's allied with you. Red is sort of a down arrow sign, and what's or? Or is just the sort of hammer sign. Pretty dang cool. I personally wish that instead of having a square when you're looking directly at it, it would just keep the same symbol, because it would make it much easier to learn the symbols quickly and just recognize what's what. Also, they've sort of added this sort of, they called it signal merging. So it'll end up merging a bunch of these together. So if you're to fly farther away from all of this, and they get sort of behind or between one another, they are all going to start to merge together, and we'll end up with a list of them. That is if we stay in range. Unfortunately, we didn't stay in range, so they've all disappeared. Whoopsie-doodle-dandy. Pretty nifty. I like all these changes, particularly the fact that the text isn't just everywhere. Also, something Joel, that's the guy who does the official videos, or Admiral Zoc as I like to call him, did tell me that the center reticle here, you can see my little custom center reticle. If we were to go ahead and press tab, it now disappears as well. So now you can have these nice cinematic shots without having to basically, well, manually turn off your center reticle, which is absolutely awesome, and I love that a bunch. Look at those clouds, they just jumped a frame because I cut out all of my nose scratching. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get to this. And when we get started, we're going to need some steel plates. We got 61 of those, should be enough. I think our main plan is going to be, let's not have our batteries on the outside. As much as I'd like to have our batteries on the outside, let's not do that. But let's go ahead and build up from this point right here. We're going to build up, I believe, 2 of these. In fact, let's go up 3. So right there. By the way, you can see at the bottom left, my frame rate is showing up. Shadow play just automatically captures what your frame rate is as well. I can shut that off, but then I won't be able to physically tell. We're having some serious frame rate issues today. We're actually getting a pretty rubbish frame rate. I'm figuring maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of editing. I just basically finished editing and uploading and publishing that Oculus Rift Shadow, I keep wanting to call it Shadow Run, Showdown demo. Pretty damn awesome thing. If you haven't watched that, I would suggest watching that video of mine. I really enjoyed just sitting there and hovering down a street. It was actually quite an amazing experience. The overall Oculus and stuff like that, having these super high-end, high-tech, nonsensical things existing in the world is, well, awesome. I absolutely adore having them. I only have, at the time of recording, the Oculus Rift, but I have indeed ordered a Vive, and it should be here today. I'm recording this on and you see my whole UI just popped up. There you go. You can see exactly when I'm recording it. Saturday, April 23rd. So I was told it should be here today or Monday at the latest. I did change my payment plan, so that might have been a minor delay, but they assured me, because I kept asking and asking again, are you sure it's not going to get delayed further because we're doing this? They assured me that would not happen. So no worries there. We should indeed be absolutely fine and dandy with still getting our HTC Vive in by the time this weekend is over, preferably today. I kind of doubt it's going to be today at this point. Just sort of have it in my bones now that I'm going to end up calling them up and saying, hey, where is it? Oh, it'll be there Monday. And sure enough, it'll show on Monday or something. Maybe I won't even call them. By the way, you can see we're going ahead and expanding out this way. If we fiddle with this too long, I'll just go ahead and cut ahead to me having the final plan. But for the time being, I think this is actually all looking, oh, dearie me, not that. There we go. Oh god, I'm misclicking. That frame rate really throws you off, eh? There we go. So now you can see we have this slight, structural support thing reaching out to hold it all together. In fact, I go so far as to say, and this thing is being held up by another support, so we can remove this without too much worry. I'm going to go ahead and put this in like so. That way we really do have like a full stop right here. And right like that. Yes, all the way up to here. Awesome, so now we even have like little tiny bit of armor on the outside of it. A lot of our ship is actually going to remain fully exposed as it is now. Maybe little tiny bits of it built in, but overall this ship is actually going to be pretty open. Which means if we get attacked, we're going to be in a spot of bother, and I have turned on cargo ships as well as pirates and all that, so we might end up running into some once we actually get out of here using this escape ship, but my hope is that we'll actually end up being pretty lucky and being able to avoid them. I do have jump drives in this thing, so once we get those up and running, we should be more than good to escape anything we really need to run away from. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there. So we'll just go out 12 from all of these now. And once I get all these placed, I have to weld these right here up by hand. But once I get all these placed, we can bring the welding ship in and do the majority of the welding just with that. So I'm going to go ahead now and actually cut ahead to, well, either they're all placed if I have something to speak about, or maybe even to the point where they're actually all fully welded up. So there we go. I've decided to cut ahead to this point where we have the basic lengths of them out. Just so you can see, we're basically going to be having solar panels sticking out the sides of all of these. So it's going to be a pretty hefty solar array. And I've actually gone ahead and decided we're going to rejig, as I fly to the ground a bit quicker than I had hoped. We're going to rejig this a little tiny bit right now. And we're going to basically go ahead and have, yes, just a support beam coming out here. That way we have some more open space. We don't want the ship to just become a giant flying brick. Of course, that said, we already have so many exposed mechanical stuff that we're planning to leave exposed. It could never really be quite in a flying brick, but that should give it some more interesting detail once it actually gets up there and flying about. All right, let's place the rest. I was about to say let's press the rest of these supports in, which doesn't quite make sense. We're not making a small model that needs to be pressed together like it was made out of plastic pieces. No, we're going to place the rest of these supports in and get this whole thing up into the air. Well, maybe not up into the air, but, well, it's going to reach into the air technically just because we're building upward. Anyway, let's go ahead once again and jump forward to a future point where I have this stuff in, and we get to the point where we're going to fix all those welders I broke. I forgot about that. Shoot. Alrighty, just about done with this. I went ahead and changed the plan a little tiny bit with these. You can see I've actually gone ahead and taken out the slight slope at the top and put in a slightly heavier slope. And now I have this, well, hard 90-degree angle here with the with the sharp angle there and the quite huge angle right there. Alrighty, so yeah, you can see I got that copied over all of these. Forgive my camera sprazzing out there for a second. And I think this should overall be alright. We might end up tweaking the very top layer of it a little bit in the future, but for the time being, I think it's fine. What we're going to do at this point is very simply go into here, select our welders, and then this base welder should be 2 of them, good. Turn those on, and now we're going to fly our big old ship right here down and simply get that stuff welded up. Oh, by the way, someone was saying, I don't think you need an antenna to be able to remote control one of these. That is very correct. If you want to remote control it while you're in the cockpit, you do not need an antennae, but I had wanted one just to basically, oh god, we've lagged out. Okay, what's going on here? I can't rotate my camera. Okay, apparently they've changed it. You can't... See, in the past, you could take remote control of something, and this, if you didn't switch to an actual camera, you could still hold Alt and rotate your camera around. But it looks like at this point, holding Alt for 1 brings up all those little icons. But for 2, if we do a number 5, so we have remote control, Alt will no longer let you turn your camera around, even though... Oh god. Even though technically we haven't switched a button to use the actual camera itself. So that's sort of screwed up our whole system completely. Yeah, that's completely broken it. At this point, we might as well remove all this stuff. So change of plans right here and right now. We're going to remove this stuff. Hopefully our inventory doesn't get full up. It includes you little computer piece of phlegm. And we're actually just going to put another cockpit here. Because I want to be able to use third person for flying this big strange beastie about. And to do that, now our only real choice, because we can't rotate our camera, is to put in a cockpit. So we'll just put in a cockpit right here. Their pipes on the back will match up, which means they should both be able to do pretty much everything they need to do. Technically, oh no, you see what I need to do here is I need to remove this and put a big pipe in. Because this one's going to need to get the large parts into it so it can place stuff as well, I suspect. Let's just see if we have enough inventory room to... No, we don't. Luckily, we do have these right here, so we can just go ahead and drop some of this stuff off. There we go, more than enough. And yeah, we'll have the interior place to replace these, get them started, and then we'll just weld them up real quick. Hopefully this won't take too long. It's a unwanted detour, but it's a... Oh no. Tell me they fixed the grinding time on this. That seems like it's a little bit faster than last time. Then again, I seem to always say that. It still takes quite a while to get rid of a little air vent, but that's not too bad. I think they might have actually changed it. So let's go ahead now that the air vent has been defeated and not grind that down. Put ourselves a seat thing right here, and then have it lead up to the proper seat right here. And in fact, do we want to leave it with the grinders at the front, or do we want... I will just leave it right here. I was thinking maybe we just put a cockpit over there, but I think right now we just want them right next to each other so we can switch quickly between the two of them to save ourselves some time. So got that in, and you need a bunch of stuff. So much stuff, in fact, that we're going to grab some of you guys, some of you because I suspect we'll need you, some of you because I suspect we'll need you. 100 of those, that's way more than we need. And right now I'm actually just going to go ahead and place down the cockpit as well. And let's just cut ahead and weld this stuff up. You don't need to see 3 hours of me just welding this stuff and fiddling with numbers. There we go. Got all that welded up. That took way longer than expected. Let's put our helmet on and hop in here. Grab our vent. And set that vent to depressurize on. So now it should be pulling air in. Yes, take our helmet off. Wow, you can actually see there's a air effect there in the... Well, for a second there was an air effect of it actually pulling air in. Pretty nifty that. And now we got our cockpits there so we can go forward, and if we need to we can hop out and hop in the other one. Also, if we were really quiet, you can hear that there is a now get in and out of cockpit sound that I don't remember being there before. Then I have had my sound off, or at least pretty far down for quite some time. So our power usage is 13 hours when we're sitting still, or a day. When we're moving, it looks like it's 30 minutes when it's at its worst. Let's go ahead and get our welders welded up. The base should have a fair few components. If memory serves, I did queue up quite a few of those good old-fashioned large steel tubes, so hopefully it won't take too long to weld these things up. If we run short, we'll of course just go really quickly, check to see what we've run out of. And really, I could be doing this a little bit quicker if I was just to rotate the ship like, oh god, that. Minus the bumping into it all, because of course we could damage and destroy the ship if we do that. There we go. Progress is being made. Progress is being made. In fact, while it's doing that, let's just hop out and go see how they're working. Hopefully not get ourselves killed. Yeah, uh-oh. You can see we're running into a problem here. Computers. We've run out of computers. So let's go ahead and really quickly check our production. And we need to get another hydrogen tank, actually. So let's get a hydrogen... Oh, God almighty. Hydrogen tank really quick. I still saw some... there's a full one. Oh, God, we do need to go get more ice soon, too. So now we got 3 of those, and we'll just drop these off wherever. We got some computer components on us, so we'll just drop these into anywhere, really. because they'll get sorted into what's being welded up. And now we need to go computer, just double checking, yeah, they're all gone. Production, computer stuffs. Let's go ahead and tell you to work with everyone else too, so you'll hopefully work with at least your one buddy. Uh-oh. Okay, cool. We got that queued up. So I'm assuming Assembler 7 is working with Assembler 10, or not. Maybe I'm confused here. Let's just go ahead and queue up a bunch of these, because we know we're going to need more computers as time goes on. Maybe it's not working if you have this on, because it's not going to be the king, I think. If we have this turned on, I think it's like, oh yeah, I'm not the king, I won't order anybody else around. Of course, as I said earlier, though, you do have to have them directly touching each other, so I'm expecting one of these to at least be working with another one. No? Cool. Scheiße. Okay, we probably run out of silicon too, and if my memory serves, we were running a bit low on iron. Oh no, we still have enough to shift it all. But we did just go through the whole list and queue them all up manually. Blimey, that's not exactly ideal, is it? Let's go ahead and go to our inventory and just check our refineries. See if they're actually working on anything. It looks like they're all dry at the moment. We got ourselves a huge amount of iron, 46,000 plus. Silicon wafers that we need for computer stuff as well. Looks like we got tons of that. And in fact, what? Hold on. Computers. I thought they used to take gold. What takes gold now? Does anything take gold? Huh. Oh, there. A gravity generator component takes gold. But I could have sworn in the old days the computers also took a little tiny bit of gold, so I always thought we were about to be in a spot of bother. Huh, apparently not though. Alrighty, let's go ahead. Now that we got all that, these guys, yes, indeed, did most of their work. Let's also go back over here and grab this cockpit. In fact, let's grab this cockpit right here. There we go. So we're actually facing the right way to be controlling these welders. Fly out and up. And we should be able to weld at the last. I think there's one left. Yes, there we go. Weld that one up nice and quick. And then we'll have our whole welding array up and running again. So we can do our G groups and welders of the sausage on and off. Cool. And let's also go ahead and we have to actually add the new welders to it. So go ahead and shift and left click the bottom one. Cool. So now it should be absolutely all these welders turning on and off. We could go ahead and weld up the grinders at the other end too. I don't think it's nearly as important because we're almost done actually deconstructing the base. There's not too much left, but it couldn't hurt to just have them up and running and fully functional just for future use. So let's go ahead and do that right now and get these sons of guns welded up. We only lost 4 of these, so it's nowhere near as bad as all of the welders that we lost, because man, we lost quite a few of those welders in such like a quick instantaneous second. I think it was a 3 meter per second collision, which technically that's like 10 miles per hour. So if you hit another car at 10 miles per hour, you are actually going to do some notable damage. You're probably not going to kill anybody, but you're going to, dent yourself up pretty bad. And heck, you could have killed somebody if you do manage to collide it just the right way, or somebody isn't wearing the seatbelts and their head hit something the right way. So I guess you could, but you wouldn't expect these big, hefty welding tools to just go kerplunk and instantly explode. Once again, we're going to be taking these and setting them to toggle on and off. And once again, we need to make sure we add all the grinders back to the full group. There, nice and easy, super quick. Cool. Let's go ahead now and start welding up all of this. I think the first thing we want to do, though, it's just hit me, is we're going to want to dock the ship, actually, and make sure we got all the supplies we need, because we can actually gather quite a few supplies to the point where we're going to be... Just bring yourselves back here. So, to the point where we're going to be welding up most of the stuff we already have there. And I'm thinking, for the time being, I'm just going to leave all of our assemblers as they are and not remove them. If I do remove them, it'll be in the future once I figure out a better position for them all. And let's go ahead and fly this son of a gun in there. It's times like this I really wish this game had Oculus Rift support. Or Vive support or something. I know the devs are working on some Vive support, but I don't know if it'll ever be publicly released. It's just might be their sort of plaything for the time being. Okay, there we go. Inventory, and we're going to go search for sausage. Oh no. Okay, let's disconnect actually for a second here and fly back, because I want to name our cargo containers here. So control panel, cargo. There we go. Let's name all these sausage, cargo. Oh, sausage. Hey, it's sausage. Cargo 1, and I'm control A-ing and control V-ing that after I did a control C, of course. And that way we can just go through these nice and quick and name them all. Super duper time saver, that is. Super duper time saver. And with all those named, now we can easily enough go back and dock ourselves, and we'll know which cargo containers we're pulling from or to for sure now. So there we go. Got that docked. Let's do on the left. Let's just search sausage. There we are. And on the right, let's search main cargo. We still have 8,000 plates on the left right there. We still have quite a few of those. In fact, let's just shift a few more motors over there because you end up using a lot of motors a lot of time when building such ships. Oh, looks like the cargo container 2 is full. What else do we need? We're going to need all those large steel tubes that we should have produced. So let's go ahead looking for those. Uh-oh. Oh, right, we're just at main. So large steel tubes. Cool. And start transferring all these over. Grab some computers as well. I don't think we'll need them for what we're going to be welding up right now, but just in case, there we go, 600 and something of them. And some displays too. It cannot hurt, I do not believe. Awesome. We got everything, so now we can go ahead and start welding up all of these random metal bits that are just sticking out, and hopefully these hydrogen containers as well. And remember, we do have 4 hydrogen/oxygen generators. I think they need to rename those to just not fuel, but gas generators or something like that. Heck, maybe they even... Oh, let's not have a little collision where we lose all these welders in 2 seconds again. That would be terrible. Well, I do think they need to rename it. Heck, maybe they should even put in a separate oxygen generator and hydrogen generator. It doesn't make a lick of sense, mind you, but there we are. But it might be interesting to just need different components. Either way, maybe I end up thinking of It. Maybe they should have separate pipes coming out of the oxygen generator, one for hydrogen, one for oxygen. You have to manually pipe them up, which sort of defeats the whole conveyor system we have now, but my god, setting up very specific piping things is awesome. And an incredible conversation I had with Conrad Larson recently brought to light a very, very awesome idea he had about atmospheric thrusters. And instead of just having a thruster stuck to the side of your ship, you'd basically have an input port you could put on a structure, and then you'd have a basically oxygen piping for it that leads to an sort of a reactor, a generator, a thruster, which leads to a proper ejection port. So it takes in oxygen, pipes it through, maybe splits it up to the correct areas, sends it through a turbine, that's probably the word I was looking for, to actually speed it up and send it shooting out these different thruster points. So you could have like one big intake on your ship if you pleased. By the way, let's just grab some computers here. Computers. There we go. Grab quite a few of these, are tiny, and stick them into our cargo container here, since we did indeed run out of them. Doop. So I didn't know those big sons of guns required them. There we go. Blimey, that was a bit loud. Sweet. So we got those welded up. We'll go ahead and weld up the last of the... Oh my, we're drifting a bit. Look at all those thrusters, and we're still drifting a fair bit. Weld up the last of those hydrogen containers, and then we'll have all of our hydrogen ready. I'm starting to think maybe I'll replace the assemblers we have right now with just oxygen tanks. That way the ship will have some of its own oxygen. Either that, or maybe just another hydrogen tank, because of course we're going to be burning through quite a lot of fuel to get out of here. My hope is mainly just that we... Oh god, don't tell me that broke any. Okay, they're fine. My main hope is that we just simply get out of the planet's gravity sphere before it's too late. Looks like those welders at the top right are not functioning. Now, somebody did mention in the comments that some of these were not going to work, but I could have sworn I piped everything up correctly. I mean, these go up, and then they come down, and then they go back into these, which is a horizontal path, and these are also going down and then going back into these. So these should all be hooked up directly to the main cargo, which can only mean one thing in theory: that we've run out of computers again, which seems absolutely insane. But they're all gone. Blimey, we end up burning through computers a lot faster than I thought we were going to. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. So let's just queue up 200 there. It's not working on them. That's a bad sign. Huh. Well, let's just queue them up in a few different areas and see if any of these actually have components left in them. There, they could cook us up some computers. No? None of you? Well, you have 10 just sitting in your inventory. Scheisse. Well, we're in trouble here, guys and gals. It looks like we must have run out of iron and silicon wafers, which is troublesome, actually. How have we run out of both those? It should be saying We have a little bit here. Okay, well, let's go to our inventory. Well, first and foremost, just search for the word computer. And we're going to grab the computer so we can at least finish up what we got. And it looks like we're going to be taking that mining ship out relatively soon here. Alrighty, got all that, and we're looking for iron ore? No, ingot. So we still got tons of iron. Okay, we're looking for silicon wafer now. And we have tons of that. Iron, ingot, silicon wafer. What the hell is going on here? Are we at a power shortage? That might be it. Let's go ahead and check. Batteries still show they have power, but what if we fly over here to this seat and hop on here? Our power usage is at 4.43%. That doesn't make a lick of sense. So yeah, I am at a complete and utter loss here, and actually rather furious. I have no idea why this isn't working now. Have you been shut off somehow? Off, on, cooperative mode? What? Did you hear that? Like they all just clicked for a second. If we shut this off in Q1, nothing. Nothing. Cooperative mode on. We're on assembling. What the hell am I missing here? Okay, this is assembler 7, right? So we're going to go in inventory. We'll go here. We're going to assembler 7. Right. You have that. Let's go ahead on this side and search iron ingot. There's 42,000 right here, so let's go ahead and drag 10,000 in here. Sweet. So more than enough to get those going. And then let's search silicon. And there we go. 36,000 right there. Let's go ahead and drag 10,000 of you over. You hear that? It's making them. Why was it not automatically transferring that stuff? I don't have any sorters on this ship. Since when does this stuff not automatically transfer it? And you saw, I turned on and off the cooperative mode. I queued it with it on, I queued it with it off. Well, whatever. Either way, it's functioning now. It's just rather annoying. Blimey, that is very annoying, actually. I'm rather furious at that, actually. Alrighty, anyway, we've got that up and running. We've got all of our hydrogen tanks full up, I think, or at least built, I should say. Not really full up. They're nowhere near being full. Let's see if we can actually weld up some of our... Motherfunker! Shit. I'm useless at telling depth here, it would appear. Absolutely useless at telling depth. And we don't even have the components to finish it, so that's just fantastic. I've wrecked our welding array. This ship is... suffering because of my incompetence, it would appear. God dang it. Well, either way, we've got the majority of that done. I was just afraid I was about to hit those. Let's see if we can weld some of these up a bit before docking this ship again. Please, for the love of God. It's so hard to tell distance of things. And we can't really get any closer than this, or we're going to be hitting it, and we hit it anyway. God dang it. Alrighty, there we go. Ship stocked back up, and I've gone ahead and welded up pretty much all of these. You can see there's a little tiny bit of metal here and there that I've missed, unfortunately. I do have a little bit of metal in my actual inventory to finish these off. But overall, all of these large pylons are now completed and reaching successfully out from the ship, so we can start putting all of our solar panels on them instead of just having our solar array stuck down there. So should be pretty simple and straightforward. I'm actually going to end this episode right now and immediately start recording the next one. Hardy. But I'm going to try to do a start-stop a little bit, I think. Or not. Maybe I'm not. Maybe this is already into another episode. Unlikely. Possible. Very possible, actually, now I look at it. Scheiße! Also, apparently, when I say that, I might be having the S, this symbol, starting to sound a little bit too much like, well, S, instead of double S, which is a very specific thing in German that I can't ever get my head around, unfortunately. I end up doing double S and making it sound too much like, well, instead of, I think, no, forget something, god dang it. Alrighty, guys and gals, I shall speak to you later, next time, all that stuff. Oh, I'm very irritated at myself for breaking that stuff. Anyway, ta-ta.